Good afternoon. Welcome to EnglishEverest.com. IELTS Speaking Part 1 Lessons. This lesson is from the September to December 2018 Part 1 questions. Today's topic is transportation. As you can see, we have the London Underground, also known as our subway, but we don't call it a subway, we call it the Underground. And we have a very nice motorbike here called a Ducati. Me being a motorbike lover, that's a very nice motorbike. Okay, so let's begin. Transportation. We're talking about public and private transportation. Subways, buses, cars, anything. Now, today's question, taken from the questions that have been distributed, are all what we call information questions. What, why, what, would, what. WH questions are what we call information questions. The answer must be information. It can never be yes or no. So these simple things help you understand the question more. So if you know it begins with a WH, you cannot answer yes or no. So let's look at the questions. What form of transport do you usually use? Why do you choose this form of transport? What vehicles are the most popular in your country? What do you think of the transport situation in your hometown? Would you say that the transport costs are high in your hometown? And the final one, what do you think will become the most popular means of transport in your country in the future? So we're going to go through this reasonably quickly because there are a lot of answers and you can actually practice the answers yourself. I'm just going to go over and give you some examples and explain a few other things. Okay, here is some vocabulary related to transportation. So there are some expressions and some idioms that you will see in the various questions. So look at them, understand what they mean, practice the sentences. Okay, the first question. What form of transport do you usually use? I've given 4 answers as such. On a daily basis, different forms, meaning different types of transport. I mostly use my. I walk everywhere if possible. Some people do. So let's not forget our format. The format is answer, reason, example. For some answers, you do not need examples. Answer and reason will be enough. But for certain questions where an example can be given, you should try and give an example. So, on a daily basis, I take the subway to work, school, university. This is because it is the most cost-effective way to get around the city. A weekly ticket, for example, costs less than $20. Bargain. And then we have different forms, and we've split this into 2. It depends on. When we talk about it depends on, it means there are choices. I mostly use my car. Instead of saying usually, I've changed it to mostly. And then I've given reasons why I use a car. I walk everywhere if possible. And again, reasons. The next one is a follow-up question from the previous one. Why do you choose this form of transport? So remember how you answered in the first one, and I've given some choices here. Car, subway, bus, walking, taxi. The next question. What vehicles are the most popular? I've included the car. I've included the subway, buses and trains. What do you think of the transport system in your hometown? I've given 4 ranging answers. I think it's adequate, it's okay, it's good enough. Adequate means good enough. It's wonderful, it's awful or terrible. It's okay, but it could be improved. Would you say that the transport costs are high in your hometown? I've gone from reasonable, which means they're okay, very overpriced, too expensive. Extortionate, really, really expensive. If you look for the verb extortion, you will understand the meaning. And then the final one, very low, cheap. What do you think the future of transport will be in your country? I've gone with a mixture of answers. Electric cars, public services, subways, trains, people moving away from cities, and trains becoming a big player in transport, important part of transport. I've also said it's difficult to say, and then I've used again, it depends on. So we have 2 options to talk about. And then the last one, I honestly don't have a clue. If you don't know, say so. I've heard from many of my students that they have been taught that a negative answer is a bad answer. That is absolute nonsense. A negative answer is just the same as a positive answer. What you need to do is say why you give a negative answer and give reasons and examples. It's no different from a positive answer. And okay, so practice the answers which you feel you can answer more effectively. That's one of the reasons we've given you a choice. So choose one which you kind of agree with more, and that one that suits you, and one that seems similar to what your real answer would be. Practice it and use it. As I mentioned before, focus on fluency and pronunciation more, but you also need to produce good level grammar and vocabulary to increase your score. Thank you very much. Keep tuned for more videos coming shortly, and have a good day. Thank you.